487-4042 or okdrs.gov.
No matter what comes our way, we'll always put your safety and care first. Not because Stillwater Medical is a healthcare provider, but because we're your provider. And we're here for you.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
The Hideaway since 1957. The Hideaway is famous for a lot of things, including their off-the-charts fried mushrooms, incredible service, unbeatable lunch specials, and, of course, the one-of-a-kind pizza. Stillwater's pizza tradition begins and ends here, from the big country to the pizza of the gods. And even the sizes are famous, from the mini personal to the big kahuna. Like us on Facebook for unique offers. Lunch or dinner, dine-in, pickup, or delivery. The Hideaway, 230 South Mount Block, or call 372-4777. More than a restaurant, it's a tradition. Razuk's Drug, everything needed from a pharmacy through every step of life. Does your kid struggle with breathing treatments? Try our character nebulizers to make them a little less scary. Trouble keeping track of your prescriptions? Our convenient dose packs take out the guesswork, offering medication compounding to end-of-life care. Razuk's Drug is here for you and all of your loved ones. Come in for a better look or just find the perfect gift at the corner of 9th and Pine, Monday through Friday 8 to 7, Saturday 9 to 2. Razuk's Drug, the whole family's pharmacy.
Nobody would hire me.
Until DRS made the job search about my skills, not my disabilities.
They built my confidence with training, with technology.
And now, I'm a taxpayer, and I don't need government help.
Are you an Oklahoman with a disability that really wants to work?
Contact Oklahoma Department of Rehabilitation Services, 800-487-4042 or okdrs.gov.
Have been saying they're a one-stop shop for many years. In 1951, the Houck Agency began insuring Oklahomans and since has expanded to insure people in 11 states across the country. The Houck Agency can find the policy that fits your needs, from business health coverage, individual health, home, auto, and long-term health care policies. They have a staff that can take care of financial planning, including retirement and investing. And Barbara Houck has been a realtor for over 35 years, and her contacts helped her buy and sell homes and commercial properties across the state. One-stop shop, the Houck Agency, 801 South Main in Stillwater. Call statewide toll-free at 800-543-8588. The Houck Agency, when experience counts.
Hello, Westside Stillwater. BankFirst has a new location at 621 South Country Club Road. We want to introduce you to our interactive teller machine. The ITM allows you to handle all of your teller transactions during business hours and 24-hour access to the ATM and night depository. BankFirst is the first to bring ITM banking technology to Stillwater. It's technology with a personal touch. We make banking easy on your hours. Stop by the new BankFirst ITM at 621 South Country Club Road. BankFirst is loyal to Oklahoma, loyal to Stillwater, and loyal to you, member FDIC.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Morning Edition on a Friday. Casey Kendrick along with Mr. Kevin Clark. And let me tell you a little story. Have I ever voiced my displeasure with the traffic lights in this town?
Yes.
Good. I thought I had, so I don't have to repeat my story. First off, they are way out of sync, and they do not make any sense. There is not enough rhyme or rhythm. And maybe it truly is that they've got to be prepared for game days and those sorts of, and then moving them back and forth. I don't know, but the software's got to get upgraded in this town on that. It's absolutely horrible. Between the construction and the lights and the way they are synced this morning,
stoppages were abound. But that wasn't just all the stoppages this morning. No. I'm coming into town, and we're driving through. There's 3 or 4 people. Here's the other thing. It's not just traffic, and it's not just construction. It's also drivers that don't know how to drive or aren't very courteous. Even if you're in town and you're in the left-hand lane and you're going slower than everybody else, you should go ahead and slide over. Then the traffic can get around you, and then traffic flows much more readily and more available. But not today. No, we came in a pack this morning into town. And as we get out towards just the north side of town, there happened to be a flock, not a family, a flock of geese that decided to cross the road. So there's 3 of them that are in the roadway. There's probably 7 of them that are on the grass. And so the car on the right starts to slow down, like, okay, there's a goose in the lane. I got to let the goose cross. I get it. We stopped and let the goose cross. The car in the left-hand lane decided to also let the goose that was in its lane pass. But the car in the left lane decided that, no, we need to not only wait for that goose to pass, and the car on the right allowed the goose to pass, and then went on. And then traffic in the right-hand lane started flowing. But no, the car in the left wanted to encourage the rest of the geese, get off the grass and come on, we'll wait on you. We got nothing else going on this morning. Come on. So the car literally blocked traffic and waited on the geese to come across. Well, at this point, I've already had traffic, lights, bad drivers, and now we're working on a flock, not a family, not goslings. These are all adults walking across the street. And so I had to zoom around, and I said, excuse me, goose, and I went on, and I think I scared the goose poop out of him, and I just kept, no, I didn't even get close. But I'm thinking, okay, I get not hitting the goose, right? Nobody wants to hit a goose. But once they have cleared your lane, you can go. It was the oddest trip in this morning and most frustrating trip that I have had in quite some time.
You know, I used to work at Mercruiser, and we had those ponds in front of our building, and lots of green grass elsewhere, and they would cross from the ponds to the back and forth. And many mornings, I would just honk my horn as I drove up the driveway, and they'd honk back and scatter.
Well, again, I'm not talking about hitting the geese. I'm not talking about being cruel. But once they're out of your way, it's kind of okay to go through the lane and just make a way. So, anyway, there's my goose story for the day. Let's take a look at the weather forecast. Start with a live look outside this morning. And weather is brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And here are the current conditions. We've got temperatures right now at partly cloudy skies. There's the forecast. Here are the current conditions. We've got 77 degrees right now. Dew points at 69, winds out of the east at about 12, humidity's at 77%, and visibility is good. Forecast today, here we go. It's going to be hot. 97 will be the high. Today, by the way, is the average day, the first day we hit 100. So it's not surprising. The earliest we've hit is in April. But so this is about the average, so that's not too far off. 97 degrees, it's going to be squelching hot, though. 78 degrees, scorching hot. 78 degrees will be your low. With that dew point, our heat indice will top out around 110 today. Southeast winds at 5 to 10 miles an hour, and we do have a slight chance of some precipitation, which would be awesome if you didn't follow that up with some sunshine, because you get some showers and then come back with that sun. Ooh, it's going to be hard just to breathe outside. So, anyway.
Hey, we have our weekend review this morning.
Yes, we do.
And Skip asked me to mention a couple of things before we ran that.
Okay, so we're going to do that, but we've got no guest, so we're going to save that.
All right.
And we'll get to that coming up here in a little bit. Our guest, this is twice this week this has happened.
Yes.
So.
And once this week, the host didn't show up.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, this has been quite the week for you, huh? Hey, it's almost like driving into town this morning. Your weeks looks like my morning. We're going to take a break, come back. We do have our weekend review, and also there is, of course, excuse me, a lot of decisions that were trying to be made. There has not been a release yet. It will happen this morning from the city, but they did meet yesterday on obviously the mask issue and many, many, many more things. So hopefully we'll have a release for that this morning and know exactly what the city is thinking. Let's take a break, come back. Weather brought to you again by McDonald's. We'll continue with the morning edition right after this.
The McCafe is now featuring cold brew coffee and cold brew frappes. Face the day with a cold brew coffee from the McCafe with a rich cold brew coffee blended with ice for a creamy frozen drink that's colder than cold brew. Or refresh with a cold creamy frappe. We start with a cold brew coffee, blended ice, and topped with whipped cream and rich chocolate drizzle for a great anytime frozen treat. McDonald's in Stillwater, Perkins, Perry, and Cushing. I'm loving it. Welcome to America's friendliest college town. Wherever you go, you'll always find a friendly face. Kent and Barbara Houck have been saying they're a one-stop shop for many years. In 1951, the Houck Agency began insuring Oklahomans and since has expanded to insure people in 11 states across the country. The Houck Agency can find the policy that fits your needs from business health coverage, individual health, home, auto, and long-term health care policies. They have a staff that can take care of financial planning, including retirement and investing. And Barbara Houck has been a realtor for over 35 years, and her contacts helped her buy and sell homes and commercial properties across the state. One-stop shop, the Houck Agency, 801 South Main in Stillwater. Call statewide toll-free at 800-543-8588. The Houck Agency, when experience counts.
Hello, Westside Stillwater. BankFirst has a new location at 621 South Country Club Road. We want to introduce you to our interactive teller machine. The ITM allows you to handle all of your teller transactions during business hours and 24-hour access to the ATM and night depository. BankFirst is the first to bring ITM banking technology to Stillwater. It's technology with a personal touch. We make banking easy on your hours. Stop by the new BankFirst ITM at 621 South Country Club Road. BankFirst is loyal to Oklahoma, loyal to Stillwater, and loyal to you, member FDIC.
No matter what comes our way, we'll always put you first. You're more than a patient. You're someone we care about. And we're working hard every day to keep you safe and continue to give you the best care so you can feel comfortable here. Not because Stillwater Medical is a healthcare provider, but because we're your provider. And we're ready to see you and serve you right here at home.
Welcome back to the show. Casey Kendrick along with Kevin Clark. I hope that scene that we just saw gets to happen someday. Boy, things really changed from that perspective yesterday with a lot of announcements in the sporting world that are undoubtedly, inevitably going to change the football season and alter it somehow. To what degree, we don't know, and only time will tell. And we'll talk more about that coming up here in just a little bit, and something we'll talk a lot about on TV 3101 coming up. But obviously, I was talking to Norman McNichol this morning, and again, the city last night met, obviously had a special council meeting, and was trying to get some things in order. And honestly, they had put a lot of things together, but didn't know exactly how to put it all in release form as of yet. So expecting that to be, the conclusions on that to be made and sent out, but some decisions have been made.
Yes, they did pass the mask ordinance last night, and there's a sign that's downloadable by businesses. There will be on the website. I don't know that it is yet, so they can put that up. I think the city will eventually be making signs available, but basically at 12:01 a.m. tomorrow morning, so basically midnight tonight, the mask ordinance goes into effect, and if you're in a public place, then you'll be expected to wear a mask.
Yeah, now again, I think they're working through all the things, whether if you're outside, if you're social distancing, things that are certainly exemptions, but essentially they want people wearing masks. And
yes.
Now the question becomes, is there a penalty if you don't?
Well, and supposedly that's built into the ordinance, and so we'll see what they have to say about that when the time comes.
But again, it's always been that if a business asks you to leave, you must leave, and if you don't, then you are trespassing, and in which case you are then certainly possibly could receive a fine. Now you could have the mask on it as well, and this is going to be, I think Norman's is 6 and under. That I was told 10 and under for hours. I don't know if that's accurate. Again, all of that information is still yet to be released, and we'll have all the details this
the paper
morning.
says 5 and under.
Okay, so it's very. I've heard several things. So again, I think Norman, Oklahoma was 6, and then I heard 10 on ours. So we'll see. We'll see what it ends up being. But nonetheless, all for good reason. A lot of people just seem to think this is the craziest encroachment upon their civil rights that they could ever possibly imagine, and we've had the pushback, but we have had a death now in Stillwater, and again, the numbers have gone up. Hospitalizations have not gone crazy, but they have gone up, and now, unfortunately, we have our first death.
Right, a gentleman named Ken Chance. I'd never met Mr. Chance, but he had a therapy dog named Rowdy, and they visited a lot of nursing homes and care centers, and were pretty well known in the community for doing that. And Mr. Chance was 79 years old, had been in the hospital for a couple of weeks, and we, I think, lost him yesterday or very recently anyway.
And
so condolences to his family.
Absolutely. Thoughts and prayers go out to his family. And again, that's one of those things you start putting names and faces to the disease. It changes the complexity and the complexion of it completely. But having said that, again, there's a lot of reasons why you should be wearing masks. Hopefully, when we were talking, you can't come and go in nursing home facilities, and hopefully, obviously, that's not been an issue. But what a great platform to take a dog and go visit and do those sorts of things, because that's a great platform.
Yeah.
So,
and you might also know the family from Chance Sweets and Treats that was here at one time.
Yeah,
that was his wife's business.
Which I remember the name. I don't know that I ever visited that business, but anyway, yeah. So absolutely. Hey, let's take another break. We'll come back. We'll continue. This is the morning edition from our Houck Agency studios. Back right after this.
Hi, Casey Kendrick along with Tom Dorado, inviting you to join us for Out of Bounds Weekly, Tom, from guys like Mike Boynton, Jim Littell. We've talked to basketball coaches, football coaches. We talked to softball coaches. Nobody is off the radar on this show.
No, and hopefully they want to come on as much as we want to have them on. We have a good time with it. It gives you an opportunity to get behind their program. They tell you things that you maybe might not see in the newspapers or whatever. And we just have a good time on this show. It's expanded over the years for sure. Not time-wise, but we've expanded the scope. How's that sound? The scope has been expanded.
If you want to see the expanded scope, you can really see it Tuesday mornings at 10 o'clock, because Tuesday mornings we do a show called Out of Bounds Raw. And it is nothing but the ugliness of putting a show together. It's a lot of fun seeing that show. Then the edited versions are Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock, Thursday nights at 8 o'clock, and Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. It is Out of Bounds from our Oklahoma Ag Credit Studios, only here on TV 31. The McCafe is now featuring cold brew coffee and cold brew frappes. Face the day with a cold brew coffee from the McCafe, with a rich cold brew coffee blended with ice for a creamy frozen drink that's colder than cold brew. Or refresh with a cold creamy frappe. We start with a cold brew coffee, blended ice, and topped with whipped cream and rich chocolate drizzle for a great anytime frozen treat. McDonald's in Stillwater, Perkins, Perry, and Cushing. I'm loving it.
Debbie, I need Tylenol.
Ashley, that way. Lance, that way. Brittany, that way. Casey, that way. Good shifting.
Boss?
What?
I have to go to the bathroom.
Charlie's Discount Drug, where we know our customers by name.
Ortho Oklahoma serves North Central Oklahoma with effective solutions from everyday complications to traumatic injuries that affect the musculoskeletal system, such as sports injuries, arthritis, fractures, back pain, knee and hip replacements, carpal tunnel, rotator cuff injuries, and hip fractures. Care begins with a thorough evaluation, explanation of treatment options, and partnership with your doctor in making the best choice for your lifestyle. For more information, call 405-707-0900 or visit orthook.com. Ortho Oklahoma. keeping you together.
Do you need to hire skilled employees that really want to work?
Oklahoma Department of Rehabilitation Services can help.
Get tax incentives.
And free training.
It makes sense to hire an Oklahoman with a disability.
And if you need help, DRS has your back.
Connect with DRS Business Services Program.
They are ready to serve you.
1-833-OK-DRS for you or okdrs.gov/BSP.
Welcome back, Casey Kendrick, along with Kevin Clark. We're just kind of talking about, again, sports, something we'll talk about today with Chris Young on TV 3101. But yesterday, actually on Wednesday night, the first big domino fell. And it's a different domino because they play in a whole different set of standards. But the Ivy League decided that they were going to cancel all activities sports-wise until at least January. There are only several of the schools. Harvard, I think, is allowing 40% capacity back of students, mostly freshmen, get them on campus, get them acclimated to the school. Everything else is going to be online. Then, yesterday, the Big Ten made the announcement that they were going to go strictly with conference games only, and then following suit was the Pac-12, and I believe the ACC is on the verge of doing that as well. I'll be interested to see, the Big 12 SEC could have some kind of a Big 12 SEC challenge if they wanted to, but I understand the logic because it's almost like you've got your own conference bubble.
Yeah.
Within our conference, here's the protocol. You have to do this, and this is what you've got to do to participate. And therefore, we'll just play each other and have a champion, and we'll go from there and see how the season goes. It may still get pushed back, but it is worth noting that even though the Ivy League does not have scholarships, the Ivy League does not depend on the revenue from the sports in general. They don't play postseason. They don't go to bowl games. It's a whole different level there of sports. It means a lot different. Of course, it's going to affect Anthony Bland, Stillwater High School kid who was going to Princeton, and so obviously his season has been at least pushed back, if nothing else. Stanford has canceled 11 sports.
Yes.
So things, again, are changing. But the Ivy League was the first to cancel their basketball tournaments last year, conference tournaments. They were also the first to cancel spring sports, and eventually everyone else followed suit. Now they've canceled all sports in the fall. Will that be something that everyone follows suit on? So it will be very intriguing, and many of these conferences have indicated that some of the schools within their conference, if they don't play football, that entire athletic department will no longer exist. So it's different, means different things to different people, and never going to put the risk of the health of the students ahead of those decisions. But if they can find a way to play, they're going to find a way to play. And I think there will be some form of football, just don't know when it'll start, what it's going to look like, and certainly when it's going to end. But boy, yesterday dominoes started falling like crazy.
Absolutely.
And all these presidents and ADs, I mean, now's a difficult time to figure out what the right thing to do is.
That's right. And the Pac-12 decision affected our first non-conference game, the Oregon State game, so that's going to be canceled.
And so now there's speculation that potentially we might pick up an SEC team, or again, will the Big 10 or Big 12 say, you know what, that's a good idea. That way we can control our 10 teams, and then we can just go from there and see where it goes. So, but boy, with the numbers continuing to trend the wrong way, with the problems with the masks, with the problems with again just spikes and surges everywhere, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Let's take a final break, come back, look at your weather forecast, wrap it up right after this.
The McCafe is now featuring cold brew coffee and cold brew frappes. Face the day with a cold brew coffee from the McCafe with a rich cold brew coffee blended with ice for a creamy frozen drink that's colder than cold brew. Or refresh with a cold creamy frappe. We start with a cold brew coffee, blended ice, and topped with whipped cream and rich chocolate drizzle for a great anytime frozen treat. McDonald's in Stillwater, Perkins, Perry, and Cushing. I'm loving it. Where do you go for computer help? Gigabytes. Gigabyte staff are experts in virus removal, software updates, and faster running computers. Gigabytes also provides small business support and network support, including websites. And they do laptop screen replacements, and they do all kinds of cosmetic repairs as well. Whatever your computer needs, they are the ones that can provide you with the answers and solutions to get you up and running. Gigabytes, 918 South Main, open Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, or call 533-1715. The Hideaway since 1957. The Hideaway is famous for a lot of things, including their off-the-charts fried mushrooms, incredible service, unbeatable lunch specials, and of course the one-of-a-kind pizza. Stillwater's pizza tradition begins and ends here, from the big country to the pizza of the gods. And even the sizes are famous, from the mini personal to the big kahuna. Like us on Facebook for unique offers, lunch or dinner, dine-in, pickup, or delivery. The Hideaway, 230 South Knobloch, or call 372-4777. More than a restaurant, it's a tradition.
It's a long story.
That's okay. I got time if you got time.
I'm surprised to hear you say you're high energy. Not at all surprised to hear that.
The other ones would be, they would probably, if I really pushed them on it, they would go, dude, so you're a hypocrite.
TV 31 is your local station. For coverage of news, weather, sports, and entertainment, stay tuned to TV 31. Here's what's coming up tonight.
Welcome back once again to the morning edition here from our Houck Agency studios. We got a news package, want to get our weekend review, but beforehand, something Seth said we need to tell people?
Well, just a reminder that we have the road stuff going on. There's construction all over town.
Yeah, no, we're going to go to the news package, but
Yes.
he said there was something.
Oh, we covered it all.
Oh, well, then it's all good.
We've had a death in Stillwater.
Yeah.
And the masks go into effect at midnight tonight.
Okay, so with that, let's check in with our weekend review.
Good morning. This is your Stillwater Week in Review. The city of Stillwater remains under a heat advisory through Saturday. Heat indexes are expected to be at or above 105 degrees today and tomorrow. The National Weather Service advises that if you must be outside, you wear lightweight and loose-fitting clothing when possible. To reduce risk during outdoor work, the Occupational Health and Safety Administration recommends scheduling frequent rest breaks in shaded or air-conditioned environments. Anyone overcome by heat should be moved to a cool and shaded location. Several road construction projects are ongoing in the area. The intersection of Hall of Fame and Duck Street is under construction. Only right turns are permitted at that intersection. Also, McElroy is closed to through traffic from Perkins to Main Street. That closure is expected to continue until July 24th. The Stillwater City Council enacted a face mask ordinance at a special meeting last night. The ordinance requires everyone wear a face covering in all indoor public spaces, including educational institutions, food services, retail, and personal service establishments that provide goods or services directly to the public. Exceptions to this requirement are outlined within the ordinance. The ordinance remains in effect through November 30th. That's your Stillwater Week in Review. Let's get back to the morning edition.
Let's check in with the weather forecast. And again, we did have a death. The mask story, again, started to change a little bit, but that's very much in effect. More details on that coming out a little bit later this morning, and it's going to be hot this weekend. Forecast brought to you by McDonald's.
The McCafe is now featuring cold brew coffee and cold brew frappes. Face the day with a cold brew coffee from the McCafe with a rich cold brew coffee blended with ice for a creamy frozen drink that's colder than cold brew. Or refresh with a cold creamy frappe. We start with a cold brew coffee, blended ice, and topped with whipped cream and rich chocolate drizzle for a great anytime frozen treat. McDonald's in Stillwater, Perkins, Perry, and Cushing. I'm loving it.
Look outside. Yeah, there we go. Here are the current conditions. We got 77 degrees. It's hot. Dew points in the upper 60s. It is just smoldering out there, and it's going to be that way all day long. Your forecast today, we're going to see a high today of 97 degrees. It's going to be a low tonight of 78. Winds out of the southeast at 5 to 10. Slight chance of showers out there. Extended forecast. Hot, 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 and more hot. Are you kidding me? Tomorrow, 105 degrees. Slight chance of showers out there, 73 the low. We've got a high of 94 on Sunday. My daughter's got a double header on Monday. That should be a lot of fun. And then we've got the temperatures once again in the triple digits on Tuesday, 104 degrees. It is just going to be ridiculously hot. Got to get rid of that dew point. Things will be at least a little more tolerable. What's more tolerable in the sun is to go get some iced tea from our friends at McDonald's, who brings you that weather forecast. Appreciate that. Coming up next week on the show.
Next week, we're going to have downtown Main Street, Lake McMurtry, County Assessor James Callan. You have a special guest on Thursday.
Yep.
And then on Friday, we're going to have Eskimo Joe's 45th anniversary.
Oh, how about that? That's some good stuff. A lot going on next week. Hopefully, we'll see you then. For Kevin Clark, I'm Casey Kendrick. Have a great weekend. Continue to stay safe, and we'll see you next time on the Morning Edition.